Hello, 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 everybody. And yeah, I see what I did. Yeah, sorry. But good evening. My name is Maris, and it is time for a January financial forecast. And I'm going to be using the Angels of Abundance deck, Doreen Virtue, and her son Grant Virtue. She converted to a very fundamentalist kind of Christian, and so she has kind of renounced her connection with her decks. But I'm a Carl Jung girl, and so he's like, they're just pictures. Whoops, and they give us hello. They give us a trigger in the mind to let us know kind of like what's going on, as a blatant picture. So I know that she doesn't believe in utilizing them anymore or have any connection with it, and that's okay. But like I said, to me, they're pictures. They kind of like unlock that part that maybe we're not seeing. So, but chance always favors a prepared mind. Good evening. How are you? So, do me a favor and make sure you love the video. Move it up in the algorithm. Comment where you're watching from, or if you have any questions uh, in regard to like what we're doing, the reading. Okay, all right, that one faded out. Okay. Sometimes what I do, there we go. Okay. All right, I'm hoping to get at least like 7 to 9. Sometimes they're not as talkative as I am. So, but chance favors a prepared mind. So, if we can kind of get an idea of what the energy looks like for our financial forecast for January, it'll help us do some budgeting and planning. Hey, Perry, how are you, my friend? How are you in all your grooviness? I look forward to seeing you. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I enjoy it when you guys comment and I can see where you're watching from. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, that one's stuck in my hand, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you up. And let's see. No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have let that just fall. Okay, those are them. Right? Okay. I don't know. I'm just, I believe it's a good idea to be prepared for things. And if you know that, January might be tight, then you'll know that you need to kind of prepare for it now. Then, if January is going to be, like an abundant month, which would be so cool, that, you can kind of figure out where, maybe you're going to tuck a little bit back, or maybe you'll, be generous, give to a charity, help the homeless, do something cool and groovy with it, right? Okay, do a little pay it forward when you're at McDonald's getting your latte, that kind of cool stuff, right? All right, so I'm excited about this, and then I realized, man, I like jumped the gun and didn't smudge. So I thought, well, let's just take a second here before we get into our January financial forecast, and let's smudge, because, smudging is a good thing. For those of you that are a little bit more on the alternative side and practice smudging, don't forget to smudge this New Year's. New Year's Eve, you want to smudge and clean the house and open up some windows and let it air out. And then, of course, smudging yourself, smudge your partner, your kids, anybody, everything, right? My dogs are kind of used to the smudging, and they go, smudging isn't really good around your dogs. And I'm like, my dogs are just fine. It's not like I go and stick the sage bundle in their face. Well, a little bit, but not all the way. All right, so January is always tight. I know, and I'm practicing a mode of gratefulness and trying to realize that abundance always isn't in cha-ching. Hi, Paul. How are you? Okay. All right. So are y'all ready to look at the first card? Because I'm ready to talk about the first card. I'm so excited. It says to visualize abundance in all forms. Abundance isn't always cash. Abundance isn't always a credit card. Abundance sometimes is going to come in other forms, such as you need a specific, hey Stacy, you need a specific tool to work on a project, and your neighbor has that tool, and lo and behold, you have something that they need to utilize. So your relationship becomes synergistic because each of you puts in something to help the other person. So abundance comes in many forms. Abundance can come in when you realize, and I like this too, when you realize how strong or how large your tribe is, your people, the people that you love and that you share time with. And when you start realizing and you're like, whoa, I have such a cool network of people that we love and care about each other. Okay, that's abundance. That's abundance. When you open up your cupboard and you have plenty of food in your cupboard, that's abundance. When, it's like abundance comes in many ways, whether it's somebody pays it forward and buys your coffee, that you buy $1 scratch ticket and it has $100 return, whatever, and I'm kind of like, please don't go out there and buy a whole bunch when if your money is tight. I know sometimes people will almost put in their last dollar in order to make 100. I know that feeling. I've experienced that feeling before. When you have desperation behind that, that's a fear, desperation, that fear of being broke, not having anything, that's really what's going to fuel or inhibit or be an obstacle. So in this energy that's coming in, it's straight out saying, visualize abundance in all forms. That means when you think about your car, you think about your car with new tires on it. When you think about your cupboards at home, or your refrigerator, your freezer, you think about them full of food. When you think about your electric bill, think about receiving a bill that says no payment due, paid in full. Visualize your abundance in all forms. If you're focusing on fear or you're focusing on being broke, that is what is going to be your big block. And then here is your other block. And that is the people that you associate with. And you're like, okay, so I want you to think about what your weakness is. Because weakness is a debit. Okay, weakness is a debit. It is not a credit. It is not abundance. Okay, and I'm not trying to be hateful when I'm saying this. I'm just, putting it out there. And when you focus on a weakness, that's what you're going to be attracting. So you want to focus on a strength. And in this next card here, it's going to say, it's talking about your friendships and, your need to detox it. And this isn't saying, oh yeah, you don't need to because it's upside down. It's saying, why are you being reluctant to let go of what is not in your best interest, and what is, hey Pamela, and what is not in your best interest, and what is giving you that strength, that tribe, that connection. Okay, so we need to start examining what I'm going to call those energies that ride on my coattail. You got to cut those strings. Relationships that are not synergistic. Remember when I'm talking about I got a tool and you got a part, and we can put them together and we can make magic happen, right? Okay, that's a synergistic relationship, that we are working for each other's best, highest good. That's a synergistic relationship. So what we're looking at when we look at this card is you need to start looking at what is not a synergistic relationship, because that is what has been kind of like been your cramp, been holding you back, So it's like, yeah, it's almost like having a flat tire. You could still kind of get by, but you got a flat tire and you need to fix that flat tire. Now, I love this part because January is a time of simplicity. And this is clean energy food. And so this is about being very simple, but getting the most bang. And when I say for your buck, I'm meaning that energetically. So it's getting the best, highest vibrational foods, being simplistic with it, and nourishing your physical self. And that is something that focusing on it. So that's the nice way of saying it, okay? So let's get a little bit unnice, but I'll kind of like turn the thing so you're like looking at a prettier picture. It's time to stop eating all the nonsense, body, mind, and spirit. It is time to stop eating all of the nonsense, body, mind, and spirit. So what you're putting in your mind, what you're putting in your spirit is going to be just as nourishing and nutritious for your body as what you're going to put in for your body. A lot of people, even a lot of religious groups, a lot of spiritual groups will take this time in the month of January. And it's Mercury retrograde, the 29th, which is today, up until, January 18th. So this is a perfect time. This is like a 3-week span, guys. This is a freaking perfect time to really focus on what we're putting in our body. Body, mind, and spirit. What we're putting in our mind, what we're putting in our spirit, how we choose to eat. And it's saying, do clean energy food. And really, when you think about clean energy food, that's whole food. And that's probably where most of your nutrition is, because it hasn't been processed. So think about that clean energy food. That is going to be your help, is being very mindful about what you're putting in your body, mind, and spirit. All right. So remember when we were talking about detoxing friendships just a little bit ago, and we get the big question of why are we being so blankety blank resistant to that change? Okay, well, here's the problem. We got an inevitable. And the inevitable here, I had to get my drink of Sprite. The inevitable here is that we're going to have some breakups. And I get a feeling that they're not going to be the kind of breakup that's like a bittersweet, amicable, we'll always be friends, I love you from here. It's going to be more of the, yeah. I got that chick from The Craft, the one that's kind of cuckoo, and how she's just like this, and just looks furious. And that's what I'm facing or looking at. So when I feel that, I feel that as along the lines of that's what we're going to have to confront. Not so much that we're going to be in that place or point, but we're going to have to confront that kind of energy. And it's going to do some breakups of partnerships. Partnerships can also be work related, business related. Partnerships can also be social groups. It can also mean like within your house. Okay, we'll just, yeah. So be, mindful. Chance favors a prepared mind. Sometimes if you get on board right now, you can mend that really quickly and take that energy forward with some higher vibration or positivity. And you're like, what does this have to do with abundance? Okay, if it's business related, it's going to affect your pocketbook. If it is social related, it'll probably affect your pocketbook. And if it's home related, it definitely will affect your pocketbook. So that's what it has to do with abundance. Okay? All right. Now, I love this next card because it says straight up, no more complaining. A couple of cards back, you'll remember it's talking about visualizing abundance in all forms. And I stated at that time that when we focus on our fears or we focus on our frustrations, not the resolutions, but on the actual fear and the actual frustration, that is what we compound or we bring in. We're going to be attracting that. And so this is a really strong focus on stopping that habit and speaking either in resolution or in gratitude. Yes, you're going to have things that frustrate you. You will. You're going to have things that frustrate you. They're going to frustrate you financially, whether it's the high cost of utilities because we had 2 days of like freaking cold weather, and we know that everybody had their electricity and all of that stuff going. So, they're going to take advantage and raise the rates for those days, I am sure, right? So when you start, it's like we'll be focusing on our bills or focusing on tax time coming up, and everyone's going to be like, I know I'm going to have to pay more in taxes this year, whatever. So we're looking at those frustrations, and that's what the focus is. So if we look at what that resolution is, or even the game plan, and then focus on the gratitude. I am so glad my car is paid off. I am so glad. I am so blessed my house is paid off. Think in those terms. What is it that you are blessed with? If you just paid off all your credit cards, dang it, feel that. Own that. Be a part of that gratitude so that we can, continue manifesting and growing in that abundant nature. Now, January is not at this time. Chance favors a prepared mind. So if we all start focusing on abundance, we can flip this card into the upright position. But this talks, and I'm not going to say a struggle, but I'm going to say, oh, I don't even want to use that. I was going to say rare and blue moon kind of opportunity for extra flow of abundance. But I'm going to say that in this, you will really have to focus on abundance. in order to have abundance, which means that you cannot focus on fear and frustration, because if you do, this card will stay upside down. But if we all, collectively, as a collective consciousness, if we all focus on our abundance, we're going to be able to take that card and put it upside down, or put it right side up, I'm sorry, so that we do connect in with that bountiful nature. Because, right now I'm sitting there thinking, if we have a pretty decent rest of the winter, some of us can get our early greens in, and have bounty in our garden that we can share with our cool neighbors, those kind of things. So really, it's like taking advantage of nature as it is, will allow us to also focus that energy on abundance. Because, we're looking at, oh my gosh, the flowers are here early, or something to that effect. And it's just like, oh, how amazing to see nature in her, in herself. Organize for success. Okay, we've already been talking about abundance and focusing on the gratitude and abundance itself through the blessings that we have around us. And now this is focusing, saying that about the organize for success. This is the way it comes across to me. Sit down and get your calendar out. And on your calendar, you're going to mark, and I don't want to use the word deadlines, okay, but expected date of completion or contract, whatever it is, of how you want to integrate abundance and plenty into your daily life. You have to organize that in. You have to make an effort, every day or every couple of days, to touch in to that vibration of success and having abundance with, success with abundance. And abundance of success is very cool too. How are you going to make it happen? And what it's saying is that when you sit down and you're writing it out on your calendar, that you're creating a contract with yourself for that success. So you're organizing your vibration, you're organizing your thoughts. And then when you're also using that pen to write it on your calendar, because it's going to be like the old-fashioned kind, that you're connecting body, mind, and spirit in with that goal for success or that goal for abundance. So we're making a contract with ourselves, and that's what the indication here is with this organize for success. It's about creating that contract with self. I like what it says. Do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. And what's my catchphrase? Chance always favors a prepared mind. And where are we here at the end? By the end of January, guess what? We're going to be doing wonderfully. We may not be, all right, we may not be able to afford a room at Rockefeller Center or whatever, those big fancy hotels in New York City. We may not be able to afford that room, but we're going to be very comfortable and have plenty in our homes, and I'm getting in our hearts too. So that means that we're going to feel very synergistic with other people and connect in and realize, we've got this. We totally have this. Because what we'll realize through all of this is that my strength might be your weakness, and your strength might be my weakness, but together we can make a power team for success, and that we have all of our needs met. So it's kind of, I get this like old-fashioned bartering system, and it's, yeah, a little bit of bartering there, here and there, but on there it's like we're going to be able to support uh, ourselves and our families well this month, in the month of January, regardless of what external factors want to tell us, that we're going to do just fine. We need to be aware, and we need to cut away things that don't not bring service, but bring, be a part of the plan, right? So if it's something that is hindering growth and abundance, it's something that we need to go ahead and cut. And it's okay to do that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed January's financial forecast. Chance always favors a prepared mind. So if you know the energy that's coming up, then you're already a step ahead. Peace, love, and harmony. I hope to see you very soon.